culture here on I-24 News. I'm Oded Grober, happy to be here. Today on our show, we'll talk about an exhibition of Israeli election cartoons. We'll take a look at a lifestyle magazine aimed at jihadists. And we'll discuss Clint Eastwood's latest film, American Sniper. Go Vote is an outdoor exhibition in the city of Holon featuring an array of political cartoons that deal with elections here in Israel. It goes back to the formation of Israel and shows the changes in the public perception of the democratic process over the years and, of course, also makes us laugh. The exhibition will be on display until after this upcoming elections in March. And we have in the studio Yasmin Sasson, one of the people behind this exhibition, to tell us all about it. Thanks for coming in, Yasmin.
Thank you.
So, obviously, over the years, even though Israel hasn't been around that long, we've had quite a few elections here. And I bet you had to deal with a huge amount of material to choose from. How did you pick what to put on?
Yes, indeed. It was it was actually a long process, because one may say that we actually have too many elections, considering how many years we do exist.
It's supposed to be once every 4 years.
Supposed to be,
yeah.
And that's basically the story behind this exhibition, because as you may know, we didn't know about it until quite a few months. So we actually had to change the program of the exhibitions, deciding to have this just to be, to keep updated with the Israeli situation around the elections.
It's always a matter of.
It's always a matter, and it says something about us that we usually have programs planned ahead for exhibitions, but the election is something that we do right here, right now.
Yeah, we should always have an exhibition like this on the shelf, ready to put
be ready.
on.
And I think that one of the cartoons was actually talking about it, that what do you know? We need to be ready. It might become sooner than we thought. Yes, it was many cartoons to try to choose from.
Right.
And I was trying to find were the cartoons that were actually talking about the process itself, the process of Go Vote. That's why we chose this name of Go Vote instead of making fun of politicians. And it was supposed to be like a celebration for democracy. That's
right. And we do see how things have changed over the years. In the earlier cartoons, they're treating the elections with a lot of respect, a lot of dignity, almost as if there's some holiness to it. A lot of references to scripture, but that changes significantly.
It changed in the past few years, but what I'm finding very interesting is that in the last few years we're actually going back to the same place. Like if in the beginning the cartoonist will be someone who'll do radical things and then trying to be more mainstream, now we're going back to the radical area in terms of the way we portray politicians, the way we're actually talking about the elections themselves.
Is there a point in time that you can say that's when it changed?
I don't think that I can point to the exact time, but it's like when you're trying to talk about something that is changing nowadays, I think that we would see more aspects about it around Charlie Hebdo, obviously. So it's like in a way you can see that people were making fun of Ben Gurion, even though we might say it's different nowadays. So it's all part of what was the cartoon that was in the front and what was something that you need to go back and look for it in the archives.
Yeah. Now, many of the cartoons show the voter as someone who's confused, is kind of clueless. That's like, we can see it throughout the whole thing. So what's the confusion all about?
The confusion, I think, is with all the process of actually going to vote. And personally, I like those cartoons the best because we have them. We have Zeev and Levkovich and people who have like there'll be one of the cartoons, someone who's like seeing all those names of the parties that we can vote from. And being this clueless means that, you know, it's in your face, telling you, now you need not to be clueless, go vote.
Which I guess is really the main message of the exhibition.
The only message of this exhibition.
Trying to get people to go out and
to
take
get
part.
people to go out. Like the thing about this exhibition is that, as you mentioned before, it's in an outdoor exhibition, whereas all the art and galleries of the design season in Holon are free admission. This one in particular is actually in the street. Like you can go and walk in the street and see it. So behind and like. There's the cartoon and then the go vote message. So nobody can, you know, confuse it with something else.
Right. There's no political
there's
message
no
there.
political
of course.
at all.
Now you mentioned Hulon and there are other events happening in the city. If you can just tell us a little bit about what else can we find in Hulon these days?
Another brilliant exhibition that we have, it's we call it in Hebrew Toferet Asratim. Behind the seamstress,
movies. So, yeah.
It has a double meaning in English that we really liked, like behind the seams, like the seams.
Nice.
But I liked best the movie tailor instead of the movie teller.
That works.
Anyways, it's based on the costumes that Rona Doron made for films from the 80s until very recent films. She's still working. It's a brilliant exhibition that we can actually see things that Gila Almagor was wearing.
Many reasons to go visit Hulon.
Yeah, come join me.
I certainly will. Yasmin, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Let's move on. What does jihad and lifestyle have to do with each other? Inspire magazine is an online lifestyle publication for the jihadi crowd. Apparently, while waiting for their rewards in the next life, jihadists try to make the best of this one as well. Daniel Campos takes a look.
Lifestyle, popular magazines concerned with mental and spiritual health, fitness, tourism, leisure, hobbies, and culture. In that same format, in 2010, Inspire, an English-language online magazine which is believed to be published by the organization Al-Qaeda, was created. The magazine is one of the many ways the terrorist organization uses the internet to reach its audiences using the same visual codes as a fashion magazine. Covers of Inspire are colorful, using the same format of other magazines in the West, while the content is quite diverse, offering a quote section for analyzing the thoughts of friends and enemies of Islam, the psychology section, which offers advice for jihadists having difficult existential thoughts and questions, a social awareness section, intimate interviews with jihadis, a high-profile target section of men and women who deserve to be killed, a section for studying government and media responses, and a recipe section which offers step-by-step instructions and images on how to make a bomb in the same manner of how to make brownies. Instructions on how to create booby traps in the form of carpentry lessons for dummies, followed by a martyrdom and prayer section. Distributed for free on a visually rich viral PDF file, the magazine provides food for thought for Islamic extremism around the world. Inspire magazine promotes open-source jihad, encouraging simple attacks by individuals or lonely wolves. The magazine also encourages its readers to submit their own material for publication, articles, comments, and suggestions to us. It's currently difficult to measure the percentage of readers who are guilty of terror activity. So far, the most famous case involving the magazine is that of the Tsarnaev brothers, who carried out the terror attack at the Boston Marathon in 2013. Prosecutors have stated that the brothers learned how to make bombs thanks to Inspire magazine. This is proof that the magazine is not a joke nor a hoax. It's a jihadi magazine dressed up in Western-style magazine aesthetics.
In a moment, we'll talk about the controversy surrounding American Sniper and its star. But first, our cultural recommendation for the day.
for the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the first spacewalk performed by astronauts Edward White and Alexei Leonov, the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum in Washington returns with exhibition Outside the Spacecraft, dedicated to groundbreaking historical events in the thermosphere where since 1965, 200 astronauts have gained and spent over 1,000 hours. Whether for exploration missions or repairs, these moments are always difficult, and success depends on the collaboration of a team of scientists. This exhibition presents art, photography, artifacts, and personal accounts that relate the continuing story of extravehicular activity.
And now Shachar Peled is here with her segment, Off Screen.
Hello, Aded.
Hi, Shachar.
How are you?
I'm saying goodbye to your glasses.
Oh, yes, you are. One of the last times I'm going to be with them.
I'll miss them.
Well, Oded, a new year, a new scandal. Why not? Clint Eastwood's new record-breaking film, American Sniper, depicting the life of Chris Kyle, also known to be the most lethal sniper in U.S. military history, is indeed breaking records. $90.2 million in its opening three-day weekend, heading towards $100 million. This is double than what was expected of it, given its $60 million budget. This is really an all-time record because it's a record opening in the month of January, which is usually a slow month, and an all-time record for Clint Eastwood as a director. So this film is really high both critically and in the box office. But there are people who are unhappy with it, and Seth Rogen, who we remember, for instance, who we remember from last year's The Interview. He's just jumping from one scandal to another.
Competition.
He is so unhappy with this film. He compared this record-smashing film to a fake Nazi propaganda clip. Here's his tweet. He writes, "American Sniper kind of reminds me of the movie that's showing in the third act of Inglourious Basterds." Now, he's referring, of course, to the Nazi parody film National Pride, shown in Quentin Tarantino's movie Inglourious Basterds, and he's comparing this to Clint Eastwood's patriotic
in
American
that film,
film.
There is a sniper seated there, at the top of the tower, and just
some didn't really like that comparison to the
I'm shocked.
fictitious Nazi propaganda film.
And that Canadian Seth Rogen.
Well, he's not alone. Liberal filmmaker Michael Moore also launched an attack on the use of military snipers in warfare, and he writes, "My uncle killed by sniper in World War II. We were taught snipers were cowards. They will shoot you in the back. Snipers aren't heroes, and invaders are worse." A couple of hours later, he did give he softened his criticism, saying that, but if you're in your home defending it from invaders, then it's okay. This, of course, a debate among Hollywood stars, Jane Fonda, Rob Lowe, all defending the film.
There is a political issue here at heart, and we all know where Michael Moore stands, and we all know where Clint Eastwood stands as well. And this is obviously a very patriotic film.
And having them on both sides of the spectrum really gives this debate its edge. We know that it was reported that Vice President Joe Biden was tearing up by the end of this film, so it's definitely making this issue on this headline, on the headlines.
Right in time for the Oscars.
And it's right in time for everything, because if we focus for a moment on its star, Bradley Cooper, this marks the rise of Bradley Cooper. This actor, and in this film also the producer, just celebrated his 40th birthday last week, and what a happy birthday it was. Nominated for the third time in a row for Best Actor. He's only the 10th man in the world to do this, as we remember.
And it's Bradley Cooper.
And it's Bradley Cooper, 2011's sexiest man in the world. And we'll get to Hangover. We must remind our viewers that last year it was his nomination for American Hustle, the year before that for Silver Linings Playbook. What is this man who roughly 6-7 years ago was quite anonymous in Hollywood, and later on continued to sort of foolish, silly films,
sexy
goofy
kind
films.
goofy.
But what made this change? So first of all, I'd like to remind you that his first ever TV cameo was in Sex and the City. I don't know if you remember that. He was alongside Sarah Jessica Parker for a short scene. He later on continued to host a sort of Discovery Channel program, but then he started with the more silly films, Wedding Crashers, crashes. We can mention he's just not that into you.
Who's responsible for his rebranding? Because I want that guy's number.
Well, I'll give it to you once we're out, but I think that in the past 5 years, around 2010, 2011 was the change, because he got his fame from The Hangover, but I think it was the techno thriller Limitless, where he portrayed a man using a pill that could help him use 100% of his brain. There he continued from The Place Beyond the Pines, where he portrayed a police officer. These were suddenly a shift into serious roles, into dramas, and of course then came David O. Russell, and the rest is history.
And the rest is history. We'll wish him all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's it from us for today. We'll be back tomorrow, of course, and until then, you can check out our website, i24news.tv, and see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.